What's up, YouTube? It's James coming back at you with another informative video. Hope everybody's doing well out there on this Friday. I'm doing real good myself. Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers and sisters in recognition to observing this day for recognizing the Most High, worshiping and praising Him. Sundown this evening to sundown tomorrow evening. Let's get some worship and praises in, people. We need it collectively as well as individually. Shout out to Queen I Know Who I Am for sending me this story right here. It's a very, very sobering story. I mean, a story that really, how can I say? It's like a light being turned on in your mind as to what's really going on. I don't know how many of you guys out there are on any kind of medications or whatsoever. You understand? But if you are, it's more than likely that those medications come from China. You know what I mean? And with everything that's going on right now between the U.S., China, and the world as a whole, with this coronavirus, COVID-19, well, it seems like China pretty much has the upper hand, especially over America. I don't know if you guys know, China is basically coming out of this so-called coronavirus. You know what I mean? COVID-19. But America is right smack dab in it now. See? But to get into this story is what I'm saying. It says China threatens to withhold all medical exports. U.S. will fall into the hell of a coronavirus epidemic. Okay? And it's more like a pandemic now. But it says here, as China allegedly conquers the spread of COVID-19 outbreak that began in Wuhan, it appears that they're right back in considering the U.S. an enemy. As China allegedly conquers the spread of COVID-19 outbreak that began in Wuhan, it appears, okay, this thing is like kind of repeating itself. It appears that they're right back to considering the United States an enemy on, I guess it's word, whatever it is, X means Z with them. So Zihana, the Communist Party news outlet, they threaten to withhold all medical exports to the U.S., at the same time asking for an apology from the U.S. and gratitude from the rest of the world. Okay? Now, when we go over here, let's get read more. See, it is said, there's rumors out there that the U.S. actually shipped the virus, over to China, over in Wuhan, China. That's what is said. Okay? But it's funny, because now the U.S. is suffering from it. I don't know how true it is, but I've been hearing a lot of things about this virus saying it actually originated. It was actually made here, and there are several patents on this virus. And we know COVID-19 or coronavirus has been around here in the U.S. for many years simply because a can of Lysol has on the back of it that it kills coronavirus. And that was back from, I think, 2018, somewhere around there, maybe 2016 even, you see. But it's said to have originated here in this country, see. So I can understand if that's the case. If they feel like America did this to them, then they will turn around, as a retaliation and say, hey, you ain't getting shit else from us if you're going to do this to us, right? Okay, as it reads, it says here, as China allegedly conquers the spread of COVID-19 outbreak that began in Wuhan, it appears that, okay, here we go again. Let's go down to this part right here. We'll just start from here. This comes at the most crucial point of an outbreak that originated in their own country. So Hana is the biggest news agency in China and very influential. The outlet is the official state-run press agency. So anything found on the website is straight from the Chinese government. An article titled, "The World Should Thank China," which was published on March 4th, covered the outbreak of COVID-19 in the United States. The article suggests that the U.S. data is suspicious because all cases of coronavirus must be confirmed by the CDC. I can't disagree with them that our numbers are questionable. It shows a photograph of people praying in the White House to underline how nervous President Trump is about the virus. This photo was actually of a meeting that the vice president had about the rapidly spreading virus as opposed to the president. Zahana goes on to taunt the control they have taken over the outbreak, saying that Trump admires their handling of the crisis and that his remarks came from the bottom of his heart. At the same time, Zahana criticized the U.S. perceived mistreatment of China, citing the travel ban and the evacuation of American citizens from Wuhan, the heart of the outbreak. This caused, according to Zahana, other countries to also isolate China from the rest of the world, causing them economic harm. Okay. The translated version of the article says, these practices in the United States are very unkind. They can be described as falling into the ground and killing people while they are ill. Sources, okay? And wow, man. Well, let's finish this particular paragraph here. And now, if it is so, if it is to be believed that China has contained the outbreak and they're back to business as usual, they may want to exact some vengeance from this unkindness. And of course, this remains the question: do they even currently possess the capability to manufacture these medical products, or is this all a way to save face because their workforce is decimated and the virus is actually not contained at all? All right, man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Now let me tell you something. What a big mess America has gotten its people into. Okay? If this has any validity at all, you understand? If there's any validity to what this article is saying right here, America is in trouble. Because basically you don't bite the hand that feeds you. You see? And if America sent that virus over there and killed them people and caused them all the harm and what have you, like it did, and that shit is widely outspread, is all over the world now. Let alone, America itself. But the American people that are succumbing to this virus is actually what I guess the so-called powers that be will consider just casualties of war. Long as it doesn't get them, so be it. You know what I mean? This is messed up. But to continue, it says, how did China threaten the U.S.? In the article, China suggests that they could easily get even with the United States for their perceived mistreatment of China during the outbreak by cutting off medical supplies while we are in the midst of our outbreak. While we are in the midst of our own outbreak. If China retaliates against the United States at this time, in addition to announcing a travel ban on the United States, it will soon also announce strategic control over medical products and ban exports to the United States. Then the United States will be caught in the ocean of new crown viruses, according to the US CDC officials. Most masks in the United States are made in China and imported from China. If China bans the exports of masks to the United States will fall into the mask shortage, and most basic measures to prevent the new crown virus are can well are can't do it. Whatever that means. Are can't do it. Also, according to the U.S. CDC officials, most of the drugs in the United States are imported, and some drugs are imported from Europe. However, Europe also places the production base of these drugs in China. So more than 90% of the drugs, more than 90% of the U.S. imported drugs are related to China. The implication is that at this time, as long as China announces that its drugs are as domestic as possible and ban exports, the United States will fall into the hell of the new crown pneumonia epidemic. Okay? Wow. This is messed up. This is messed up. And this goes out too, for a lot of you ancestor worshipers. You know what I mean? Let me tell you something. If you don't want the Hamashiach, aka the Messiah, aka Jesus Christ, you understand? Or let's say call him by the Hebrew name Yahusha. He's got so many names, okay? Well, you better hope that your ancestors got a place, to put you and to deliver you from what's to come here on this earth. Okay? Because right now, what we're looking at in this dispensation is the beginning of sorrows. And that's exactly what the Hamashiach said. This is something he prophesied. Okay? But to continue, in the next paragraph, Zahanik basically says, no, don't worry. We are filled with love. However, this is a great love in the world. Well, there is a great love in the world. The Chinese people and the Chinese government have never done so. They have not insulted the United States, nor have they banned the exports of masks and medicine to the United States. Wow. And then let me say this as well. It is said that China is actually, not China, but America is like so many trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. It's almost like China owns America. And this is just rumor. This is what I'm hearing. You see, and this is the thing right here. So these people, man, basically got America like on a string, and they can do what they want to do. They can basically do what they want to do. So the thing is like, I've known, some drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? And this is what it is. They would rather kill the people they owe. They rather kill them than pay them. You see what I'm saying? See, they figure if they kill those people, then, you don't have to pay them. But as long as they owe those people, you got to pay them, and they might kill you if you don't pay them. You see what I'm saying? See? And I'm going to just let that simmer right there. But to continue, then the article suggests that the United States, if not the entire world, owes China an apology due to our media coverage of the outbreak in Wuhan and comments made about the outbreak by government officials like Secretary of Commerce Rose, U.S. Secretary of State Pompeo, and U.S. White House Economic Advisor Navarro. They say these officials gloated about the coronavirus outbreak and saw it as an opportunity to pull U.S. manufacturing out of China. See? But back, in the 90s? What was it, in the 90s? Early 2000s? That's what it was all about. All the damn work was supposed to go to China and putting other people out of jobs. Now what's up? Now you want to pull out of China. You want to make America great again, trying to bring those jobs back. It's too late for that shit. But to continue, the article says that not only should the world apologize to China, but they should thank China because they made huge sacrifices, paid huge economic costs, and cut off the new crown virus. Now we should rightfully say the United States owes China an apology and the world owes China a gratitude. Without China's huge sacrifice and dedication, it would not be possible to win a precious time window for the world to fight against the new crown pneumonia epidemic. This seems to be a direct threat against the United States and is one we've made possible by becoming reliant on other countries for essential supplies. So true. So true. So true because, well, the spirit of America is this, and it's a spirit, a spell, in other words, that's been cast over basically everybody in this country, especially us as a people, simply because it used to be a time our people used to grow our own food. We got away from that, to the so much to the point now. What we do, we rely on the government's way to get food through the grocery stores and stuff like that, you know. So there's a bad spell that's been cast about relying on others to do for us when we need to start basically becoming self-reliant again, you know. But as this part of the article goes into, the U.S. is far too dependent on China for medical needs. Okay, and that is a crutch right there, man. I'm telling you, if China pulls that crutch right there, well, guess what? America will fall, and they may not be able to get up. Okay, and that's just all there is to it. It says the United States is extremely dependent on China for medical products. Everything from medical diagnostic equipment to masks to medications is produced in China and then exported to the U.S. for use by our citizens. This puts the U.S. in an extremely fragile situation and at the mercy of China. Even without China purposely withholding medication, the United States is already concerned about a disruption in the supply chain since factories have been closed for around 2 months at this point. How concerned should we be about this? According to the report on Vox, it's worrisome, particularly if the outbreak becomes widespread in our places that manufactures medications like India. Drug shortages might not be felt immediately as many companies stockpile ingredients of supplies to protect against unexpected stoppages or have redundancies, meaning they rely on factories in different places built into the supply chain. And the reality is, with or without the coronavirus, people, drug shortage are a perennial problem in the United States, but an acute emergency like a virus outbreak, but also a natural disaster or a geopolitical event like a trade war can threaten to make things worse. It does fit a kind of scenario where we have worried about in the field for a while now. Cornelius Clancy, an associate professor of medicine and director of the XOR pathogen lab at the University of Pittsburgh, told me it would take much to expose. No, excuse me. Let me say that again. It wouldn't take much to expose the vulnerabilities in the supply chain. And the Vox article was taken again. And the Vox article was talking about shortages as byproduct of the pandemic. Imagine how bad the shortage would be if China deliberately withheld all medical products exports to the U.S. It'd be real bad. You see, this is what I'm talking about. We are too dependent on this country, man. I mean, why couldn't America make their own medicines here in this country? All these chemists and all that kind of stuff know how to talk about medicines and all that. Why every time, if they go like to college, they always wind up outsourcing themselves to another country where they go and work? Why don't they stay here in America and do these things like, make medicines? Then that way you don't have to rely on China. But to get in this part right here, it says what medical supplies could be affected. We're relying on China for a shocking number of medical supplies and drugs, and it puts us in an extremely vulnerable position. In a recent article, I listed some of the things we import from China. That list includes medical devices, electromagnetics, lab equipment for all applications, coenzyme Q10, heart health supplement increases oxygen. What's that? Quinine drugs, including malaria testing kits, aromatic drugs derived from the carboxylic acid with additional oxygen functions, and their derivatives. And this amphetamines, yeah. Okay, I don't know what part of amphetamine that is, but it says amphetamines, benzphetamines, dexamphetamines, Elephamphetamines used to treat ADHD, hyperactivity, narcolepsy, athletic performances, and cognitive enhancers, antidepressants, tranquilizers, and other psychotherapeutic agents, monoamine drugs, cardiovascular drugs of amino compounds with oxygen function. This stuff's starting to sound like a lot of steroids. What's that? Dermatological agents and local anesthetics. Lidocaine, whatever the hell that is. Oxygen increased breathing drugs for cardio patients and asthmatics. Anesthesia drugs, thyroid drug, hormone drugs, TB drugs, anti-malaria drugs, immunological products and drugs, vaccines for human medicine, vaccines for veterinary medicines, even for the animals. Human blood, animal blood, prepared for therapeutic, prophylactic, diagnostic use. Uses toxins, cultures of microorganisms, antibiotics, diabetes drugs, test strips, syringes, asthma drugs, ephedrine. What's that? Swiftfree was, I guess it's pseudoephedrine. Yeah, pseudoephedrine. Neurophedrine. Vasodilators. This is a lot of stuff I don't ever want to even know what it's for, because I don't ever want to be introduced to it. Okay. Other medications containing alkaloids and derivatives. I'd rather eat leaves off a tree, man, than heal. I'm serious. I lie to you not. And I know leaves off of a tree has a lot of good compounds, you know what I mean, to strengthen your body and heal your body. Because the Father said, in his word, that he will give us the fruit of the tree. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine by me. I know that means the actual fruit itself, or like apples, oranges and stuff like that. But hey, I eat the leaves. I'd rather take the leaves. I'm serious. What's this? Medicaments containing vitamin B2 synthesized from aromatic or aromatic compounds in dosage from or packed for retail. Medicament containing B12 synthesized from aromatic or aromatic compounds in dosage form or packed for retail. Medicines containing vitamin E synthesized from aromatic or aromatic compounds in dosage form or pack. Adhesive dressings. Your gauzes and all that kind of stuff. Band-aids. Even band-aids. Damn. Adhesive dressings and other articles having an adhesive layer coated or impregnated Yeah, with pharmaceutical substances packaged for retail, herbicides, trial, what's that? Trial, what? Triethylithium, triethylnolibin, whatever, man, will affect surfactants and detergents, okay, emulsers and cosmetics, sterile surgical catgut, damn, well, surgery material, tissue adhesive for wound closures, and laminura, laminura tints, and absorbable hemostatics. Okay, uh, algens used as thickening or stabilizing agents in food stuff and other products. Drugs used to dilate the cervix. Okay. Okay. Again, that stuff is actually right there. It's used for pregnancy, I guess. Blood grouping regions, medical blood tests, and opacification preparation for X-rays, examination, diagnostics, regic design to administer to patients such as barium for GI series, dyes, and stains for radiologic tests. Antigens or anti-sera, a serum containing antibodies that are specific for one or more antigens, also called immune serum. Human or animal serum containing one or more antibodies that are specific for one or more antigens and are administered to confer immunity. What's that? Thorium coats Tuscan filaments used in old-fashioned light bulbs, TVs, electronics, etc. Dental cements, and other dental fillings, bone reconstruction cement, chemical contraceptives. That what's that? That's that Plan B, the pill, ain't it? The morning after pill, some shit. Yeah, chemical contraceptives, preparations based on hormones, spermicides. Yep, birth control. Excuse me, birth control. Gel preparations. Use human veterinary medicines lubricant. That's human slash veterinary medicine. Lubricants and surgical operation. Physical exam or a coupling agent between body and medical instruments such as KY jelly. So appliances identified for ostomy use. If China pulled the plug on these imports rather maliciously or because they were unable to manufacture them due to the COVID-19 outbreak, COVID outbreak there, many people in the United States would suffer and even die because of it. Okay, it's a little more to the article, but that's as far as I'm gonna go with it because it says like right here, this should be a lesson to the United States. It should be, but as the old adage goes, hard head carries a soft ass. United States don't learn, man. You know what I mean? Because if they did, number one, they wouldn't have been as dependent and relying on China in the first place like this. Just think of it. Look at all this stuff I just called out. A lot of this shit I can't even pronounce. You know what I mean? And all of these jobs they put over there, in China when it could have been work here to do these things. Y'all think about it. You don't have to be a rocket science once you get proper training to learn to manufacture this kind of stuff. Okay? You really don't. But see, what they want is people in these hardcore factories making all other kind of parts when they should have been more worrying about the health of Americans, basically, But this as far as, I'm going to go with it is, y'all